Hello, everyone, and welcome back to July's window shopping episode. So, if you don't know what this is or you're new to your channel, basically every month I look at the central market here on the NA server and talk about the trends of notable items and whether you should buy, sell, maybe hold on to something or enhance your profit. And this month is going to be pretty big because we're getting a lot of stuff coming out soon. And like Blackstars are on the rise, Garmoth's hearts may go up or down, and a lot of people are preparing for the Sovereign offhand, which is an endgame weapon. So yeah, that's a few things we're going to be talking about. Plus, the Heidel ball was recently, and people are buying and selling a lot of different things. So yeah, let's talk about it, and let's get right into the weapons. I guess it doesn't really matter, but we're just going to be talking about Blackstars because those are like the weapons you use before you going into Sovereign. And for the most part, if you're going to enhance anything for profit, it's going to be offhands this month. They're just going to be a lot higher because the new Sovereign is coming out. So as of this month, basically, we're looking at kind of the same thing, if not less. And it's really the same for Awakening as well, but we'll look at it just to confirm that idea. And so main hands a little bit lower. Chances are, if you're looking for an Awakening offhand, just put an order at minimum price. It'll sell, or like you'll get it within a day and then you'll be good to go. If you're trying to sell it, good luck selling it at minimum or maximum. Chances are you're gonna have to minimum if you want to get it sold, or at least mid-price it. So the last one sold was like 2 weeks ago. It's one of those things where it's going up, but it's not the main attraction for this month. So the main attraction is the sub-weapons. We talked about why, and here's the prices of everything. So you're probably like, wow, why is that over 100 billion? It's because we talked about this in another video on how to obtain the Sovereign weapon, which is coming out in August 6th, that is. I'll have a video, I'll leave a link in the description if you want more details and everything. But essentially, you need 2 pen Blackstars, or you need a bunch of Caphras Stones, like 58,000 of them, if you have a Kuda Maneuver route. So, offhands are what we're going to be looking at. Pens. Here's my opinion. If you were going the 2 pen Blackstar route, I have a feeling that don't buy these just yet at like 100 billion. Wait till it goes down. And the reason why is there's a login reward for this, and they're giving away 3 Chase Hammers like once every week. And so you should have 3 more coming in. And so inevitably, people are going to one-tap more offhands and probably list it. So chances are it's going to go down in price a little bit. I think a good price to buy is probably within the 80 billion range, 80 to, like 85-ish. With enough people tapping with their hammers, chances are it's going to go down in price. So that's my opinion. So if you're holding on to silver, looking for it, go for it. As for the Godder, don't even go for this. Just put an order on your Blackstar because you have to convert it anyway. It's just more silver. Yeah, just put an order on your Blackstar. Wait till it goes down. You have an entire month to prepare for Sovereign coming out on August 8th. So we just started July and there's no need to rush to do it. Let's see. Oh yeah, so for Tets, if you're going for enhancing for profit, this is what it's going to be. Just be careful. Everyone else has the same idea, and you're going to go lower in price. So right now it's at 17 billion. It's obviously going to go lower because everyone has the same idea. But let's look at the Awakening once again. I guess it doesn't matter. It's about 12 billion to give that an idea. So I have a feeling it's going to equalize out between 15. Offhands are going to go below 15 throughout the entire month. But that's just a prediction. either way, if you can sell it at this price, that's good. Also, we got the new Wukong class, and I'm still working on it. I'm practicing before I make a video. That way I can give you accurate information. But the Blackstar for the new Wukong class is here. It's 2025. Back in the day, it would be like, oh, you should enhance one. But now we have a tag system, so literally irrelevant. And so, yeah, I think Wukong is pretty fun. Like, it's different to play. Yeah, prices are roughly the same. You'll see them at minimum. If you follow my advice, it's probably going to go down a little bit, and that's what I think. Okay, so there's a few other things I want to talk about as well. Let's probably not look at this one because these are new and probably doesn't have a lot of sales. So the second route for going for Sovereign Offhand is a Pen Kudum and a Pen Nuver at Caphras 20. And so let's see the prices of this one. So chances are most classes have a Nuver already, simply because one is more tailored towards PvP and one is more tailored towards PvE. The Kudum or Blackstar is PvE. Nuver is PvP. However, what we know about the Sovereign Offhand right now is it's combining like the Blackstar plus the Nuver. So essentially it's a big upgrade, but then that makes Kudum and Nuver irrelevant. So people, I guess, are selling it. Looking at this thing, it's probably going to go down to Kudum price, which I believe is like 5 bill-ish or something. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to go... It's probably going to equalize around 4 billion for that, because people wanted to go to Kudum route and Nuver. The cheapest method is double Pen Blackstars, but we'll see throughout the month. So yeah, if you are planning on selling it and you don't do any PvP, just know it's going down. You might want to sell it as soon as possible. If you're thinking about buying one and going that route, it's going down. So keep that in mind. Okay, so let's talk about Fallen God armors. So they announced with the Edania, which is the new region, that you're going to be able to go past Fallen God, and basically you convert your Tet Fallen God plus a piece that we'll learn about more in the future to go... I assume it's the equivalent of like going past Pen, right? But we don't really have too much other info past that aside from we're getting armor upgrades. So with that said, people are probably going for Tet Fallen God armors. That means all 4 of them: glove, shoes, armor, helmet, you know, and so on. So every month I like to talk about this, and if you are planning on enhancing it yourself, here's what I would do. It's the same thing every month. Here's my advice. Base to Pry, start at like a 80 stack and go up to like 100. Pry to Duo, you start at like 100, go to like 130-ish, and then, or like if you have a lot of stacks, you can go up to 150. I think 150 is on the higher side for Duo. Duo to Try, I'd probably start at like a 140, 150-ish, and then go up to like a 180. If you really get tilted, you could go up to 200, but really depends. Let's see. Try to Tet. For me, when I went for my Tet pieces, they were all between 245 to 280. So the reason why I say it's okay to use the highest stack you have, assuming it's under 300, that is because these are expensive. And believe it or not, it's 200 billion is not exactly the easiest thing to get. And it's like you could get triple Pen Blackstars, or like 2 of them at least, for 200. So I think it's okay to use a stack on here for going for Tet. And I think on average, assuming you're using like a 250 plus stack, you should be able to get Tet cheaper than, you know, buying it. So like, let's say this cost 70 billion and then this one is 200. I think on average, you should be able to hit this in under 130 bill, assuming you're using a normal stack, right? So yeah, that goes for all the armors. The order you should go for is probably chest armor, just because this one has been out the longest and it's probably the cheapest. Yeah, if you could put it in order at like a lower price, obviously do that. Shoes are probably going to be the most expensive because they're the newest one and you get them from the higher end grind spots in Ulukita. Ultimately, they're all like roughly within the same price, but you know, like ones that listed are probably a little bit higher. So it might take a little bit longer to get the newer ones, but ultimately it's all within like a 10 bill difference, in my opinion. Okay, so what else do we know from the Heidel Ball? They are removing silver embroidered and adding some of those stats to Manos. So if you don't have a Manos piece already, it might be time to start investing in it, minus farming and trading. And I think that's fine because trading clothes gives extra weight limit, which I think is very important. And then farming, even if they came out with a farming Manos closed, is literally irrelevant. So once you're past Master 1 for farming, you're good to go. Like anything past Master 1 is just kind of like a flex. But yeah, I think that is the one life skill that needs to be reworked and like actual benefits aside from, you know, not using that whole extra 1 energy and minimal grow time based on like wherever you're doing. I don't know. Either way, farming is kind of like one of those things that's very low on the priority list. So Manos is going to be the new end game instead of silver embroidered. I think that's a good thing overall, just because, you know, like silver embroidered is literally like a 8 or 9 year old item and Manos is the new one. Obviously they want to push out the old items and get the new ones in, so I think that's fine. Okay, accessories. They didn't really talk too much about accessories in the Heidel Ball, so as far as I understand, life skill is for the most part the same. By the way, if you have 300 bill and you see this pen Manos, you should probably buy that, because going for a pen Manos is like an Oct Preonne. Let me look at that real quick. Man, Oct Preonne. So, and you just convert it 1-to-1. So if you're an endgame life skiller and you're looking for this one, just buy that one and convert it. It's worth the extra 10 bill. Trust me when I say enhancing Preonne is not as easy as enhancing like Blackstars and stuff. Even though you could crown it, but it's still kind of a huge pain. Preonne is just like an extra thing I'll work on eventually. But aside from that, for non-life skillers, Debo accessories, kind of the same as last month and the month before it. They're like, they swing up and down like 1 to 3 billion. But like, ultimately, if you're trying to go for it, just pay whatever. Obviously, put an order at minimum. Chances are it'll get filled and you'll get it. So yeah, Debo's roughly around 200, 210 billion. It's been like that for the past couple of months. Nothing really changed ever since Karazad came out. I think Karazad is still the new thing, but most people who have it already have it, so prices either are staying the same or going down. Okay. Debo necklaces. This is the important one because if you're going accessories, this is the one you want to go for first, simply because it gives the most AP for your value. And it's also the first one that came out, so it's going to be lower priced than the other ones. So it's a good idea to always go the necklace route first and then followed by everything else. Let's go look at Manos. Are there any rando pen Manos just sitting? So, what is there to talk about? Distos. People ask me, are distos still good? If you're at that stage of the game, I think so. Just keep in mind that if you have pen, you are losing -5 DP times 1 or 2, depending on how many you're using, to the point where just know that these are a dead-end upgrade as of now, because you cannot turn these into Karazad. You would either have to melt these down for Essence of Dawn and then enhance your Karazad, or you just go, you sell it, and then you buy the like the Deboreka, and then go from there. That's about it. Same thing for all of this one. The only relevant thing these days is Debo or Preonne if you're a life skiller. So, and then turn it into Karazad. They talked about artifacts recently, and they're removing or giving diminishing returns for monster AP. So like species type, you know, like Commosylvian, demi-human, human. So basically, you know how if you were to go over the AP cap, which was, let's use this for an example. You see this number right here? If you were to go past the max AP limit, you would use species damage to go past that cap. In a future update, species damage is no longer going past the AP cap. So the price of that is going down, and they're probably like all species damage and stuff is going to go down in price. So just keep that in mind. And I still think these are good. The other two are for PvP. They're simply defensive artifacts, where this one is your PvE one, and it's just like one is these two PvP, this one's PvE. That's about it. Let's see. A few more things I want to talk about for this month is, oh yeah, I guess let's talk about enhancement. So as of right now, we have an event going on where you have fat life skill bonuses, fat grind bonuses, drop rate bonuses going off for the Heidel ball. Basically, all the life skillers are going hard, and sharps are max price. So here's a little tip. Although it's not necessarily the most worth thing, you know the night vendor that's selling Caphras Stones, black shards, and if you need boss gear for some reason to turn it into Blackstars and whatnot, just know that you can night vendor for all of these at like significantly cheaper. Is it really worth the 50 energy? Not necessarily. I value energy a lot higher, but ultimately at the end of the day, like if you need something, you need something. But these are extremely expensive right now. It's been a while since these have gone up to max price. Mem frags are almost at an all-time high. And so if you're thinking about doing enhancing, just keep this in mind and recalculate your totals and costs for enhancing for your profits, because mem frags are extremely expensive now. And I assume it's because they gave everyone those Jay's hammers, you know, from the Heidel ball and all the Cron stones. Everyone got 20,000 Cron stones plus like 4 hammers. That is what causes this to happen. What else is going up? Caphras Stones are sold out. We expected this to happen simply because Sovereign Offhand, second route. And either way, no matter what route, I believe you do need Caphras Stones. So 2 pen Blackstars plus the gem, which is another 20,000. Or you go Caphras 20, Nuver, and Kudum, which is like almost 60,000 Caphras a person. That's kind of wild. So yeah, we're going back like 5 years when Caphras Stones are in a drought, and it's not as bad. Like, you guys who have been playing this game for many years, you guys remember it was a time before the first Fallen God armor came out, and everyone was doing exactly this, and there were hundreds of thousands. This went on for like almost half a year or something like that, when Caphras Stones are basically sold out, and it was not great. So luckily it's not this bad. You see 20,000 orders, chances are it'll fill in a day. You just aren't able to buy like 30,000 of them at once. What's gonna happen is you're just gonna have to get like 1,000 or 2 of them a day. So That's about it. Like, it's not that bad. And I think they changed it. So yeah, you can buy 1,000. It is what it is. Essence of Dawn. You know, this is a weird one because the best time to buy these are on Saturdays when the boss resets. Because you know how people do the black shrines, right? And you get your rewards from doing Calamity 8, 9, 10. I still have to finish mine. And all of this stuff that gives the extra rewards for all of these. And it gives a lot of essences. So the best time, if you need them, is to buy it on Saturdays. Okay, what else are we going to talk about? Reforge. Yeah, these are all like... these are all kind of the same. In case you're new and you're getting to that point in the game where you're getting Sovereign, here are the best ones to get. All AP, high priority. Crit damage, high priority. Back attack, also high priority. Whether you get all DR, Black Spirit Rage, or crit rate depends on your build and what you do. But those are 3 very solid options. If you want to go Glass Cannon route, you go probably AP, crit damage, crit rate, Black Spirit, and back attack. Those are what I use, and that's full offensive. If you're not as geared, you could swap out crit rate for all DR. And if you're a PvPer, you could probably put accuracy on as well. But ultimately, most people just go Glass Cannon route, assuming you have the gear to do that. But I'm actually thinking about putting all DR back on again, simply because like some of the spots I grind are at the higher end, and it's actually pretty sketch. So that's one of those things that I'm like, I could probably drop a little bit of crit rate for more defenses, but my playstyle as a DK is different than, you know, probably someone who plays full on super armored 24/7 class. But anyway, for the most part, AP, high priority, crit damage, back attack are at least the 3 mandatory for every class. And then what you do after that is different. We recently had an event for the cups that you put on your accessories. So I assume there's a lot sitting. These cups that are the shiny rocks are for Karazad, and then these blue and yellow ones are for, you know, Debos and stuff. I think it's okay to skip these if assuming you're going straight into the Karazad route. You could skip the RNG or like not like the extra grind, and then just buy the like rainbow colored ones, and then you'll be good to go. Alchemy Stones. Soon, TM, we don't know when, they're going to allow us to start cronstoning Alch Stones. And so for all of the people out there wondering, when is it a good time to convert from Vels to Splendids? That number comes from when 3 AP gives you minimal AP bracket numbers, right? So if you are like, probably it's around 340, 330-ish AP on your sheet, is when you could probably drop 3 AP and potentially go down a bracket and still be fine. Because the effect when you're using this gives +5 AP, and then when your bracket only gives like +3, you're gaining more by using a Splendid. It's still going to be very difficult to get a Splendid, so I think Vel's Heart will still be relevant for the next like year or so, maybe 2. But for everyone else, these will be cronstoneable. They talked about in the ball. When? I have no idea, but yeah. What I would do is try to put an order on like a Resplendent or a Sharp, and then just hold it for, I guess, whenever they announce it, and then we can get it. As for everyone else, if you can get a Vel's Heart, that's good. If not, it's not really a big deal. Just put an order on, use a Khan's Heart temporarily until you get a Vel's, and then you're good. Life Skillers. Khan's Heart is fine. Let me show you what I use on my main. I think I was like gathering earlier. If you have the Trance tier, I unironically use this Trance tier a lot more than a lot of other things, just because I value the plus 30% life XP a lot higher than the others. Otherwise, I do use the Resplendent because gathering drop rate is worth more to me than the other ones. But I think if you didn't have a Resplendent, Trent's Tear is also fine. If you're using the seasonal Stella Stone or you have a Consort, they're not bad. Life Skill has more Alchemy Stone options than like grinding. So if you're gathering item drop rate is very important. If you're doing any other life skill, I think a life XP is important. And then if you're doing long-term AFK stuff like processing, cooking, whatever, probably the Consort, you can just set this on like your character and then leave it to go. And it'll just plus 25 mastery, and then you come back, and then it's one less thing you have to think about. Okay, so next thing we're going to talk about is I actually don't think much of this has changed. Yep, these crystals are still expensive because Elvia or Zekia is a huge pain to grind, and it's actually difficult. So there's that. Jin crystals for your Charizard. I see them sitting more or less regularly now. Well, not regularly, but every now and then I just look at the market and there's a few sitting. High priority on the APs. Other than that, let me look at this. Jin crystal. I would say for most people, all AP is fine. If you are a PvPer, you'll be using accuracy, damage, or evasion. But when in doubt, just all AP. These are significantly cheaper, and that's about it. Oh yeah, there's a few more things I want to talk about. I talked about this a while back. These Blessing of Mystical Beasts. You guys need to stop buying this and have this sink down in price. Here's why. So you have 15 AP, right? They give you, your standard house buff 15 AP for 1 hour. These are 34 million. So 15 AP, 1 hour, 34 million. Here's what you do. It's a very convenience item. Decoration. Let's use this one. 15 AP, 3 hours instead of 1 hour. 10 uses. And it's the same price. So basically, using these blessing scrolls gives you 10 hours for the same price of using this for 30 hours, essentially, in total value. So, you should buy these. I understand the reason why people use these is they forget to use the blessing thingy before they leave town. And so, you're basically paying extra for being lazy. So, it is what it is, but here I just taught you guys how to not do that, which would be buying one of these, and then before you go to your grind spot, just pop it, and you're essentially getting triple value for the same price. So whenever people learn that in this game, these are going to go down to, like, I would say if these are about like 15 mil, it's still not the best value, but I could still justify the lazy tax of using these instead of literally getting triple value by not doing this. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's one of those things that, if you're watching this video, now you know that these are not good value, but people are still going to do it. So it is what it is. This is why the rich get richer in this game and people buy these scrolls. So that's about it. I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about today. Like, we talked about all the Heidel ball changes, what's coming up soon. Yeah, I think everything else is roughly the same. I guess for the memes, let's actually look at this. I assume boat licenses are the same. All right, we talk about this every month. Which Carrack is the best one for you? So in the Heidel Ball, they talked about adding boat PvP, kind of like, Red Battlefield, but for boats, essentially. When that's coming out, no one knows. But for all of you guys who have the Valor, the PvP boat, you're probably excited. I have the Valor. This was the first ever boat I made like 5 years ago. And so I'm excited for that. However, if you are only in the ocean to barter, probably Advanced will be the best one for you. Volante is not a bad option either. Volante is a speedboat. Like, assuming you don't have any gear, no sailors, just take the boat as it is. Advanced has more weight, so you can barter more. Volante is the speedboat, so it gets from point A to B faster. The Valor, it does more damage, so like when you shoot your cannons, you should be able to do your sailing dailies a lot faster. And Balance, it really doesn't have, you know, anything that does well over the others. It's more like you already have all three boats, and this is the fourth one because you're a collector kind of thing, right? So I would say for most people, depends on what you do in the ocean. I would probably go Advanced, Volante, or Valor, and then Balance is just kind of like not good at, it's not bad, it's just not good at anything. Whereas all of the other three specialize in something better than the others. So ultimately, there's a reason why I see Valor's getting sold more, simply because they just talked about boat PvP content in the future. I think that's a good thing. So yeah. All right, I think that's all for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you come back. And if you have any questions, whether you're like you need help with gear or you just want to know something, drop in the comments, or you could join the Discord. We have a channel for gear in Discord, so you can just post a screenshot, let me know. But with that said, I am out for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace!